we're going to the last session on this stage. This one I really like, on how blockchain transforms the gaming sector. Please give a big hand to our moderators and our speakers. Our moderator will be Michael Gu, who is a blockchain educator and founder of Box Mining Channel with more than 180,000 subscribers and 12 million views. We also heard from Michael previously about Blockchain 4.0. Joining us are the speakers, Marian, who is a blockchain engineer from Decent and who is building a D-app store for games. Vladimir Tomko, who is the founder, CEO, and game producer at Blockchain Cuties. He's a game producer with 14 years of experience. And finally, Konstantinos Farris, who is the CTO at Quanta. Take it away, Michael.
Right, let me check if the mic works. All right. Welcome everyone to this panel. And I gotta say, gaming, I'm really excited because I'm a big gamer and a big game developer myself. A lot of people don't know me, but I was making video games before this, and I was constantly seeing the opportunity for gaming to change the blockchain space. And we've got a really great panel of people here right now. So we got game developers, we got game platforms, and we also got gaming in terms of gambling as well. So we got the full spectrum, video games, we've got platforms, and we also got gambling as well. So why don't we introduce ourselves and how we're using blockchain in our projects, and we'll continue this very casual discussion. So let's start with Vladimir, and we'll go down.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Mike. We are developing Blockchain Cuties. It's a blockchain game that utilizes NFT tokens and regular ERC20 tokens. We are launched on 2 blockchains simultaneously at the moment, on EOS and on Ethereum. And we are we are developing Tron version of the game as well. So we utilize blockchain in our project to store the assets, to keep the proof of records, and as a hard currency, if we're speaking about ERC20 tokens. Those hard currency tokens are designed for the late game, and at the beginning, users just use regular cryptocurrency of their choice. It's either Ethereum or EOS. And we try to innovate in this space. We also do some infrastructure solutions. For example, we have our own built-in wallet that allows us to accept fiat money via our partners and allows our players to play the game in every modern browser out there. You can even do it like on mobile Safari. So this is how we use blockchain in our game.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kostas Farris, the CTO of Quanta. Quanta is a company which has developed a gambling gaming platform, end-to-end based in blockchain, Ethereum blockchain. And also, Quanta, it is the first in the world licensed blockchain operator. We are based in Isle of Man. For who of you who may not know, the Isle of Man is a European country, a small country between UK and Ireland. We are based there for financial reasons, but also because the local regulator in Isle of Man, they are quite open-minded so as to authorize and give the license to a blockchain operator to operate lottery games. Our platform, as I said it is end-to-end blockchain-based. This means that the data of the tickets, they are stored in the blockchain. All the gaming logic and the business logic, it is supported through smart contracts. And also, we give the possibility to the players of our platform to buy their tickets and to be paid in case they are winners using cryptocurrencies. We are one of, as I said, we are the first in the world licensed. The last few years, our focus was to make our solutions real products, and also to transform our company from a startup to a real company. Our strategy for the next years is to expand our business and our operations in different countries worldwide. That's why I'm here also with Quanta, because my experience in the gaming, in the gambling gaming, is about 30 years. I used to be a technical architect of gambling gaming platforms. I'm coming from the other side of the world, of the legacy world, but since some years now, I'm in the blockchain world, and I can tell you that I feel rather native than immigrant.
Cool.
Thank
That's
you.
I got a really interesting angle to come, and we hope we can talk about that in a sec. And finally, we have.
Good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Marian Podmajersky. I'm coming from a decent platform, it's blockchain platform, and in gaming industry we developed the first DApp, or decentralized application, on top of the blockchain. The basic concept is to targeting the countries they are unable to conduct KYC. So those are like sort of undeveloped countries in Southeastern Asia, and they are missing app stores in cell phones, in Android phones or iOS phones, like Google Play or App Store from iOS. So we are developing this sort of app store even for producers or game makers and also for users. And we are backing it by the stablecoin, so it's a scheme where you can top up by cash to the convenience stores or magazine stores, and then to use it for in-app purchases or application purchases.
Cool. So I'll start off with video gaming first, and we'll move into gambling style gaming as well. So being a big video gamer myself, I used to trade a lot of virtual commodities, and this is why, from my angle perspective, I'm like, okay, this is the easiest way. A lot of gamers understand cryptocurrencies and digital commodities by default, right? So we have tradable skins for weapons for something like CSGO. We also World of Warcraft digital gold. So this is something that isn't new in the gaming sector. So what does blockchain provide? What can we provide on top to entice gamers to enter the blockchain space?
Well, if we speak about this exact space, then blockchain provides safe ways of doing that, because what you've mentioned has been in games for a long, long time, even starting from EtherQuest, like Thirst version, you had gold, you had people that were farming this gold and were trying to sell it and selling it on black markets. And this is very important, because in crypto gaming right now, there is no such thing as black markets. Every market is a part of your market ecosystem, and you need to design the game from the very top, considering that people will be selling your assets the way they see fit, the way how they see fit. And if you're like Blizzard and you have World of Warcraft, you usually ban people who try to sell those assets, to sell gold, and this is prohibited. And people who are doing that, they have the risk of losing all those time spent, hours spent, and money gathered just by being banned. In crypto gaming, this is all part of the system. So basically, if you like doing that, then it's safe to do that in every crypto game. Then those trading potential brings a new fifth type of players, basically traders. They come to play into your game not because they see it as a fun game, as a process that brings you emotions. They provide just the profit-driven retention. They come back to your game because they want to earn money more than they did yesterday. And this brings new behavior to the system, which attracts new design points from the game designer perspective. You need to create a gameplay that is suitable to achievers, munchkins, explorers, and now to people, socializers, and to people who want to trade. So because we're at the entry level of the market right now, a lot of things aren't different from the regular games, but we know that these design fundamentals will change. We need just time, and new mechanics based on this open market scheme will be developed, I believe, within a year. because we need to explore it. It takes time.
That's awesome. So you brought up the Bartle test over there with different categories of game design. So video game space, we have this idea of trading coming in and giving a kind of a trusted platform for trading as well, providing trust to this trading platform so you don't have people who can duplicate an item. And well, that was a big problem back in the day. And now we have an open platform for trading. Now, this can also be applied not just for video games, but also for gambling as well. So gambling is actually deeply rooted in cryptocurrencies. I think Satoshi Dice was there, but they weren't very licensed. So how do you see, why is licensing important, and what kind of types of licensing do we need for this to actually work out, to have a trusted platform?
Regarding the licenses, the licensing, as I explained to you, needs for the regulation, for the regulators end to be quite bold in order to give a license to a gambling blockchain operator and to using the cryptocurrencies for the gaming. But I would like to stick to one characteristic of the blockchain that makes the difference in the gambling world. The characteristic is the trust. Around the gambling, there is a huge noise and suspicion about the operators if, let's say, they manipulate the data, if the winning numbers they announce or the data that they reporting, they are real data. With the blockchain, all these doubts are vanished. So trust, it is the major, the most characteristic, important characteristic around the gambling and the gambling that it is based in blockchain technology. And also, let me give you some real paradigms about what trust means in the gambling world. For instance, there is the few years, since a few years now, there is a lot of debate around between the stakeholders of the gambling industry about why the millennials and the younger generations, they are distant from the gambling. Actually, I don't like gambling term.
Okay, so
yes,
gaming, right?
I using game, yes. I like to use game. Because actually what we are doing, it is not to addict people to the gambling. Actually, an operator like Quanta and all the licensed operators, they build around their platforms and their systems what we call responsible gaming. So they protect the people who are addicted in the gambling. And they stop them from betting, from gambling. Also, companies like Quanta and the other gaming operators like Quanta protect also the state from the tax evasion and from the illegal betting. So actually,
using the traceability aspect of blockchain, so say,
yes.
So you can actually kind of monitor how much this guy does it, so they don't overly play, and also, of course, you prevent KYC issues as well. It's like making sure that they're actually over 18 or something like that, right? Depending on jurisdiction. So we have finally one question down for you for platforms and for. In terms of building blockchains and in terms of providing services for gaming companies, what do you see is needed in this space?
I would like to carry on the discussion of the guys, but I will get back to it. So one angle is like to support the government, and if you don't run it or run it on a crypto space, so you can have either volatility or the sort of stable coin, something trackable, tethered or back to the real assets. So this is one thing, or you can find other share on market, and it's for small studios. They don't afford to protect the games by the licenses and like trademarking stuff. Also, blockchain is worldwide. so it's not bound only to one country. So it's sort of difficult to work it out with one government. This is what I think, and you can always target undeveloped countries, for example, when they don't see these sort of problems. For them, even the gaming is new. So this might be the approach.
It's an open discussion, sure.
I want to add on the platforms because I've worked on a platform at Odnoklassniki. It's Russia's largest social network. We have 35 million monthly players that play mostly browser games. So the platform's role here is basically to create a sustainable business model for game developers by attracting audience on the platform and doing the revenue share. So the developer that doesn't have a lot of resources or an investor that backs the product can understand that he's doing a platform for a specific a game for a specific audience on a platform. Then he releases it and takes traction because they take some of the marketing on themselves. They bring in the traffic and do the revenue share. If he takes like 30% or 50%, it's okay, as long as the business model is sustainable. Basically, platforms help the market grow. When a platform like Facebook released their gaming platform in 2008, appears, the market tries to boom. A lot of new players, not just like players, but developers, come into the market and try to create new product, try to experiment. They're not afraid because they understand even if they fail with one particular game and they still can do another one with the same platform with different maybe business model or mechanics. It is a safer place for everyone and it helps the business grow. That's why I think we're in a stage right now in blockchain gaming when platforms, as we see, are starting to emerge. Unfortunately, majority of them don't have any experience in platform building at the moment, but this is something that people should invest into because platform help adoption. They take it on themselves, and this is very important.
Right, and that's a very interesting relationship because we actually had a lot of similarities because we worked with a lot of platforms in the past and they actually take say 90% of all the revenue. So it's kind of crazy how that works, but they also bring millions of users. So the units here are in the millions. So if you look at a web game or a mobile game, you have millions of users. Fortnite daily active user, I checked yesterday, was peaking at 3 million users per day, just playing a video game. And they have skins, they have dances, they have special moves they can sell and trade off. These are all virtual assets. But now we have the problem of kind of issues in the blockchain space. We made some ridiculously good pitches here why this can be applied, but why isn't it gaining mainstream adoption? And this is one of the topics I want to tackle now. Because right now you look at charts, for example, the top Ethereum games, you got Ethermon with 500 daily active users. Not 500 million, not 500,000, but 500. Literally, there's more people here at the conference than playing a blockchain crypto game. So what do you think needs to happen to improve adoption? What do you think can lower that barrier of entry and retain users for a longer time?
Okay, I think I can answer it totally, but I will start with the differences. If we talk about blockchain gaming, then those 500 people playing Ethereum are all paid users. So if we take a regular native mobile application, the same Fortnite, then they usually have up to 5% of paying audience. Everybody else don't pay. They watch ads, they monetize via advertisers, but they don't pay directly. Here, 100% of users pay. And thus, when CryptoKitties, actually today is the year after the CryptoKitties was released, so we're celebrating 1 year of crypto games. So when the CryptoKitties created the market, the numbers that they were generating per month were actually a lot higher than average game development studio that does native mobile applications. Plus, the market is like a blue ocean here. Very few developers, especially experienced, are on the market right now. Yes, it is small comparing to native mobile applications, comparing to Steam applications like Dota 2, for example. But if we take how many millions of developers are on that space and how few hundreds are here, then it makes sense because it is easier to do business in this new space. And that's why people are trying to create this game. And if we're talking about the adoption, then basically we have two growth points here, which are not yet discovered. First one is that very few people have cryptocurrency as assets on their wallets, and basically everybody have plastic cards, so would be great if they would be able to just pay with their cards. And unfortunately, it's not happening right now, and MasterCard is doing it even harder. Now you need to hold the funds that were used to purchase cryptocurrencies for 3 years in case of refund. This is very, very big time. And nobody is offering, because of the KYC procedure, a very seamless experience of paying with a credit card. So you need to do at least a photo of yourself with your credit card, with your ID card. Then somebody calls you, does a KYC procedure, and then you can pay with the card. Plus, they take some percentage out of that. And this is a very, very huge barrier. So we need more companies that could do a seamless KYC procedures, maybe in some jurisdictions that don't require them to be so strong, and that bring an experience, a user experience similar to one that Coinbase offers.
So
we don't have those on the
It's
market.
kind of the barrier to entry, payment friction, basically. There's actually more payment friction.
And if we don't speak just about payment friction, let's take EOS, for example. Right now, it takes you, if you're not familiar with the blockchain, about 1 hour and 20 minutes to create a new account. There are so many steps when a user can fall off.
Right.
And they accept fiat via PayPal. That's great because very little companies do that, but it takes a lot of time. This whole thing should be like in a mobile. You just need to start playing the game and then pay with one click or tap when it is required. And we need to create infrastructural elements that help this future become closer.
And do you notice that problem as well in your space as well?
Yes, but let me mention something that I think that it is very important also for our discussion today. I don't think that KYC it is the major issue, because actually KYC it is not 100% connected with the blockchain technology. KYC it is required for whatever business you are doing.
Yes, but it is connected to adoption.
But my point here is that talking about blockchain, because here we are in the world of, in the universe of blockchain, the big challenge that we face today with the blockchain, it is scalability, mostly. And I'm talking also especially about the gambling gaming industry of Quanta. For instance, each ticket that it is played by each player, it is a transaction in the blockchain. For a system to be business productive, needs to process a few thousand transactions per second. So you understand that the big challenge, not only for the gaming and the gambling platforms, but also for the fintech applications, for the banking applications, for the asset management applications, also for the entertainment gaming applications and applications about royalties, everything, it is scalability. I think because actually a blockchain provides the magic thing that I mentioned before, it is the trust and the transparency. Once the scalability issue will be addressed, and I think that this is a matter of time, this will be the high time for the outbreak of the expansion of the blockchain. Also, another important...
Also, we have a blockchain engineer here. So do you have any weigh-in on the transaction per second? Can we achieve the thousands of transactions that is needed here? Or do you think it's possible?
Yes, this is a very common topic, and I believe it is one of the drawbacks, but it can be resolved, and everything could be like postponed or delayed in user interface. But it depends what sort of application are you building on top of a blockchain. If it's like payment gateway, as in case of the Cuties, or if it's like real in-game or online playing, might be used only as a distribution platform, as we used it in Alex.io, or it depends really on a use case, what you're trying to achieve. But I believe the transaction per second is just a buzzword, and you can always get around it.
Awesome. So
I totally agree, and like we have EOS right now. If to compare to Ethereum, it solves a lot of scalability issues already. Then we have like private blockchains. You can make your own blockchain like based on Graphene, and you won't have those TPS problems as you do in Ethereum, and still you will have those transparency things that helps iGaming to become more like trusty for people. It's just like Ethereum isn't as good for the iGaming 200 transactions per second right now, but these problems are already being solved on a good scale. We can see that, which we can't, unfortunately, with the connection of the fiat world to the blockchain world right now.
So I really want to actually get a gauge of what the audience wants to ask us as well. So right now we have around 4 minutes, 30 seconds left. So we have this ball here that we can throw to you guys if you guys want to ask a question about gaming. So if you guys have any questions, do put your hand up. I think this is one of the best panels I've ever been in. You guys are great, and I think it's a very broad one as well. So let's hands up if you guys want to ask any questions. Okay. Yes. Oh, I've never actually seen anyone catch it, so it's okay. I just throw in the mic.
I have a question. What is the panel's opinion on the Funfair white label platform where they would create where they would give a platform and then you can create your own gaming versus a proprietary system that others are building?
I can answer that. I think the idea is good, but it's not sustainable right now because we don't have a platform that is successful enough to be giving away white labels at the moment. We need to build a platform that works, that delivers content, that brings in users, and then you can like white label it. At the moment, we don't have it, but like in 2 years' time, maybe it will be a popular thing.
May I answer also? In our case, because we have our platform, as I said you already in operation, and the next days we are going to announce a very important deal in Africa, in a very big African country. In this case, in Africa especially, we provide our platform as a B2B to a local gaming operator, which will use our platform as a white label.
Okay, thank you for asking. My opinion is that it's doable, but like something platform as a service is non-existing. White labeling or like reusing for other regions, I think is possible, but really it depends on the use case. I think it's doable.
Cool. Do we have any other questions? It's always cool. It's always like, you gotta be brave. Anyway, so I got a question for the panelists as well. So right now, we have a lot of money coming into this space, right? So this is one of the biggest issues because gaming is so hot and blockchain is so hot. You know, how do you spot the legit people? You know, how do you spot, like, what are like some kind of patterns for people to follow for people who don't know so much about gaming but are interested in this space?
From my perspective, it's your background, especially if you're like a public figure as yourself and you start creating a game, then I believe investors will support you because they believe in you, they know you have good track record. Plus, right now, we see game studios being combined of people from other big game studios like Mythical Games. It was announced Friday before last Friday, and it consists of Blizzard Entertainment developers, from Neon Tech developers, from Codemasters developers, and of course they have like big track record, and investors immediately try to pour in money because they know that these people know how to create games, plus they have like big PR capabilities in the world of gaming. They can be a gateway from the normal world into the world of blockchain, and this is what we're all here been waiting for adoption. They are the harbinger of adoption. So yeah, track record basically is the key.
Quanta, we really reward our investors. Actually, we have two tokens today, one royalty token. The holders of our royalty token have 5% of the revenues of Quanta.
Is that security then?
But still, our revenues are quite low, okay?
Right.
But as I said we are to announce a very important deal in Africa. And as I said the strategic plan of Quanta for the next year is to expand globally the operations. And also, we have our utility token, which is already listed in 5 crypto exchanges up to date. Okay. And our utility.
Unfortunately, I think our panel is up. So obviously, for us, we all have a lot of different ideas coming through. So if you guys are interested, do check out everyone from this panel. Sorry that we had to cut it a bit short, but I think it's amazingly entertaining. It's also, of course, a very hard to understand space. So just understanding what is necessary and what's important here is important. And also asking questions, what's the security, what's the utility? You know, those are questions to ask Konstantinos if you guys find him afterwards. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Michael and our amazing panel speakers. Please give them a great hand.